Okay. So who would like to share what they do to prospect? Because there's a formula to it, which I'm learning about, but let's talk about it now. Who does what to prospect?
I'll share. I mean, I don't know if this is what you're thinking, but my prospecting has become relationship building with some people that I haven't known all that well. So if I find someone on Facebook or that I don't know very well, someone from church, or I actually stop someone in the street that I walk by all the time and introduce myself to her and said, I feel like I know you. You always have a smile on your face. I live around the corner and I would love to know you. And I sent her a note, a handwritten note, and said I would love to get a cup of coffee. And she called me and said, it was several weeks later, and me bad, I haven't followed up with the return to set the date. But my prospecting has been building some relationships that I would not have otherwise ever stopped someone in the street or reached out to someone on Facebook and followed up and followed up and followed up with comments and or private messages that you look so happy doing your yoga. So my prospecting has been building some relationships.
And I think that's brilliant. And I think that's what we're doing. We're making it difficult for people not to like us. Bottom line, that's what we're doing. And when they like us, then they're more open to us asking them, when you ask somebody questions, which is something that doesn't happen much these days anymore. Everybody's so busy putting their nose in their phones that intellectual conversation where you're looking in someone's eyes or talking on the phone and listening intently and not multitasking, but monotasking is becoming a lost genre. So if you can really make it about them and not about you and ask questions, Courtney O'Donnell introduced years ago to this team that you say 3 sentences and ask 1 question. I've been training myself to ask 3 questions and answer and answer with 1 sentence. Ask 3 questions and answer with 1 or 2 sentences at the most. But keep asking questions because people tell you everything. I mean, how long has Marie been saying that? People tell you stuff you don't want to know, but it really helps when you're talking to them. So prospecting is how can you educate people, and it doesn't matter whether they buy or not. That's the heart that this team has, and this mission has. It doesn't matter, but if you make it about them, eventually they will buy, or they will join you, one or the other. So thank you, Sue, for that. Who else wants to talk about what they do to prospect?
I will if that's okay.
Oh,
it's Kristen.
Okay, Kristen, go ahead, and then you, Sue. Okay, Sue Lambiers. Go ahead, Kristen.
Sorry. Did I just talk over somebody completely?
No worries.
Okay.
I'd love to hear from
So for me, I guess lately my prospecting is a little bit different. It's more social media based because that's what I'm trained in and that's what I'm used to doing. But just interactions with different people that I'm friends with on Facebook, but don't have a daily interaction. Instead of just saying to myself, oh, that's a great post, actually replying to their post or commenting on and liking certain things on their page because it gets the interaction back and forth. So then it kind of brings them to my forefront and then going from there and then following up from that point. So prospecting for me has been more of a social media based than a face-to-face, I guess.
And you know what, Kristen, at some point, if you're willing to do it, I would love for you to train us on that. Would you be willing to take a half an hour and train us on that?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Because
Facebook is definitely a wonderful tool. There is an algorithm to it, so you have to be on it, on a consistent basis to keep yourself in the forefront of Facebook and in front of people in your newsfeed. So I would absolutely love to do that. That would be great.
Show of hands, how many people would like Kristen to teach us this? Just so you know, Kristen, everybody's raising their hand, so it's unanimous.
Yeah,
So-
no, that would be great. I can definitely set up some things, and then if there are people who are not able to attend, I can certainly even Skype one-on-one or
Well, and we
whatever.
can record it too, honey. What I'd like you to do for me, Kristen, is look at your calendar and tell me when you're available on a Monday night to do this. Okay?
Sounds good.
Hopefully
Perfect.
in July. That would be fabulous because we're really, all of us are really into growing our businesses, and prospecting through social media is king. I'm really committed to this. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Who else wants to share? Oh, no. Okay, Sue Lambier.
I was just going to let you guys know one of the things that I started to do that's helped. You know how you get those people who they're not interested, but they're a friend and you think it'll be good for them, or you know that they're connected with a lot of people. I started going back to those people and just saying, hey, you know what? You know, I told you how passionate I am about health and wellness, and I know this isn't for you, but can you help me? Can you help me to build my business and share a couple people you think this can help? And then all of a sudden they're like, well, what is it again? So they listen again. And then I've been getting some leads from people, and it's really helped me to go back to them and not even, I know it's not for you, and that seems to turn it around. And then the
So
other
you're saying, I know it's not for you. Can you help me? What? I'm sorry, you cut out. What's your next line?
is can you help me? Can you help me build my business? And I said, I'm really passionate about sharing health and wellness, and I would appreciate, you know, anything you can do. Can you think of anybody who is not feeling well or needs more energy, or just really has tried everything to lose weight, because we have this great shred program. And I just kind of tap on all the things we can do by just throwing it out. And all of a sudden I say, can you think of anybody? And then they usually start to ask me questions so they can understand it again, so they can help me. But before you know it, they're getting a little more. One of them now is she's going to try the vineyard, she said. And she was totally against everything.
So is that where you got your 3 or 4 orders this month, Sue, from the?
Yeah, I got a vineyard from one person, and then I had gotten, you know, a quad based on her wanting to know everything. She gave me a lead, and then it was almost like the lead of her friend almost talked her back into it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So her friend who, oh yeah, your friend went with me. Thank you. And then all of a sudden it's like, you know what? I think I'm going to try it.
I think that's brilliant. So that's, again, you guys, this is so cool. I think this is all divine direction. I really do. Because the next thing I was going to talk about, Sue Lambier, was referrals. How many of you are asking for referrals? I mean, I've been sending out texts to people. I like what Annette said about, you know, waiting 4 days before you get back to somebody, and then when you get back to them, using the, you know, what Ray does, which is apologizing to them for not reconnecting, that you've been really busy with prospects and team, but how are you? And saying, you know, even saying clearly this isn't a fit for you, but do you know anyone that might keep their income options open? Or do you know anyone, like Sue said, do you know anyone that you can send my way, give me their name and cell phone, that I might be able to call, that wants to get closer to their optimal health? And those referrals are super big. I mean, they really do the job for us. And so the other place I go for referrals is in my customer base. So I got 2 teammates this month, and both of whom were calling them up or texting them saying, I haven't talked to you in a long time. How are you? I thought of you this morning because way back when, I know you used to be on Juice Plus, or I know you used to be a Juice Plus representative, and I just had to reach out to you. I'm working, you can say one of 2 things. This is Eric Worries. I'm working on a project, not sure if it would be a fit for you or not. Would you be, and you know, would you be open to taking a look at it? If not, no big deal. It's not a big deal. Would love to catch up soon. Looking forward to hearing from you either way. So that's Eric Worre. I'm working on a project, not sure if it's a fit for you or not. And you're giving them permission, if not, no big deal. This is a text. And I wrote that text based on, training from a long, long time ago. And I got one new rep. And she had not been in the business for 10 years. And then I went to my eye doctor and I said, I've talked to him until I'm blue. Marie's laughing because she knows she goes to him too. I've talked to him since I was blue in the face. And I finally said, Brian, what is it that's holding you back from being open-minded about sharing this with your product, with your patients? And I said, because we have a brand new program about called the Wellness Plus program. It's a pilot program. And he said, do I have to get team? I said, no, you do not. He said, can I make it to the 22% commission? That should have sent off a little red flag for me. Like, this guy has been a rep, but no, not me. I was so shocked he was having a conversation with me. I just kept talking to him. And I said, I really wish you would sign up and do this with me. And he said, okay. And I said, excuse me?
Yep,
And he said, okay. And I said, all right, well, it's $50 to become a rep. And I really think you should get on it. I don't think you should lie about this, Brian. Because he said, well, I don't need to get on it. I'll lie about it. I said, don't lie about it. Get on it. So he gave me his credit card and he ordered a trio. And I just happened to make a business appointment with him. So I made it clear to the receptionist that this was not a visit for my eyes and my vision. This was to talk to him about business. And it was at the end of the day when I knew there was no patient behind me and I had his undivided attention. So you can prospect that way. And the other way that I think is so amazing prospecting is obviously with your Facebook contacts and your Instagram contacts, but with your customers. And everybody rolls their eyes at me when I say this and say, I've already talked to my customers and they don't want to be upsold any products and they really don't want to do the business. And so who cares if they don't want to be upsold, or who cares if they don't want to do the business? Let's use your sponsors, call into your customer base, have it be impromptu. So set up a block of time, 2 different blocks of times with your sponsor. This is what I'm encouraging my frontline to do. And Susie and actually Joanne are doing the Brave Leadership Program. So I'm encouraging them to set up 2 half-an-hour blocks of time a week. And they try to fill that with prospects and attraction calls on the business. But if they don't, we're going to start calling into their customer base, asking for if this is a good time, asking for them to share their Juice Plus stories, celebrating their success, and then asking them who they might know that needs to hear about this product. And I have to tell you, every time I've asked for a referral, everybody's very willing to help. Sometimes you have to be gracious and let people think about it. So I've had people say, yes, I've got some referrals for you. I know I do, but can I think about it? Of course you can. And I've given them 4 or 5 days and then gotten back to them and said, I know you were so excited to help me and I so appreciate you being so open-minded. Did you think of anyone yet? And they really focus because they've already said yes, but they're not delivering, and they come back to me with 1 or 2 referrals, okay? So that's some prospecting things I've been looking at, experimenting with, and having fun with. Anybody else want to share what they do to prospect?
Maura, I just wanted to say that, Susie O'Shea had mentioned about, Sue O'Shea had mentioned about Darren Hardy. So I listened to a little bit of his stuff, and then Eric Worre, and then now Ray Higdon, and I got, the book Go for No, and I was reading it today. And if anyone just wants to read 2 chapters, the beginning part talks about how when we're younger, we have no problem asking for anything when we're kids, and our parents said no, no, no all the time. But for some reason, as we get to be adults and we ask a question about a product or something and people say no, we kind of crawl into a shell. And so that was really interesting to read. And then he also talks about the law of attraction. So one of the things that Darren Hardy said, which is, write the list of what you're going to do. And also I liked what he said about leverage. I know I don't have a ton of time, so I try to think about where I'm going to get the most impact or leverage. And sometimes we don't know. I get that. So I just decided to just be really, open-minded and try completely different ways that I haven't. Like I invited somebody on the call, Susie Smith. I don't know if you remember the girl I juiced at the first conference I ever went to, and she's a runner. And she was on she's been on the product for a year, and I invited her onto the call. Well, she called me today and said, I shared part of that with my husband, and he said, I don't care what you have to do, get me on the product. So I signed her up today. I'd like to be able to think she might do the business. I've approached her once and not great time, but that was weird. And then the women, I have new neighbors that just moved in, and she had knee surgery. I went over to talk to her, and they're housing a young boy from Scotland. And I asked her about, have you ever heard of Juice Plus? And he pipes up from Ireland and said, oh, my mom sold that. And I was like, what? And so I just friended her on Facebook. I go, good, because I want to go international.
Yeah, and maybe you can get her all jazzed again.
Get her all back again. And then, as far as prospecting, I went back to some people who have canceled and ask them why and how they're doing. And I have somebody looking, back at the product. And then I had somebody call me last week to say, I haven't been taking these, I need to cancel. And I saw her in the grocery store, and I said to her, I totally get it, no problem. I can even pick them up and send them back. But before you do that, can I just ask you a couple questions? So she's been taking them, and she sends me a text every day. Purple, red, green. I got it. And so I think prospecting even from people that we have, and now, like I said the last time, I don't care who says no, and being a little bolder for reaching out for team, which I know I've been kind of slow on, but I had a doctor, two phone calls to the office, and he finally said, the secretary said, assistant, you can make an appointment, and we'll go, he'll see you, and then just, we don't do any visits, but we'll just charge that to your insurance. I was like, no, thank you. But then got another yes. So I'm just trying not to put myself in one lane. And I just keep telling myself every day when I wake up that I just need to listen, because someone needs this more than I need it. And so, and every day there's been somebody who says, so I literally have juiced somebody every day. They can say no, but now I'm just being a little bolder. So don't forget the people that are canceled. Don't forget the people that are already team, I think, and then go for what has leverage.
Yeah, and absolutely. And I'm even calling into, there are just under 200 people in this organization, which is a small organization, but a healthy one. And I've been calling some of my quiet reps and saying, are you aware that we've just changed? They've just changed the team building bonuses, and you can earn more money. And are you aware that there's money for those people that hold their clubs from 12 club and above. So when Donna and Susie and, all of you guys, Marie and Joanne and everybody hits 12 club and holds it for 2 months, you're going to make $1,200. And that, my friends, is amazing. I mean, that's amazing. So, it's not going to happen unless we build team, and we already know a ton of people. So Marie just said it too. Great. Thank you, Marie.
I just ask Marie a quick question if I could?
Sure.
What questions did you ask? What questions did you ask your canceled customers that turned them around?
Well, one of the questions I said, I just was thinking about you. How are you? of course they're like, I'm fine. I'm like, yeah, well, but no, you're not. But anyway, and then one of them was I invited to be, I know massive heart issues going on, and asked them to come on, just to listen to tomorrow. And then I forwarded the good one more that you redid. I think I sent that to like 7 people just to listen. And then I just followed up and I'm going to follow up after that call. So I usually just call, I just text or call and say, how are you doing? And thinking about you. And then I usually say something about, I can't help know that you were on this before. Now our research is even stronger. Can I share something with you? And then I usually send, either one of the newer videos or something else and follow up. So I hope I get 2 of them. I hope I get back because they need it. So.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think I lost my train of thought.
Laura, mind if I add one quick thing?
Yep, go ahead, Ham.
Just on a little bit tag on to what everybody has said so far. No doesn't mean no either. No means not now.
Right.
Yeah.
And I've been learning that over and over again because whoever started the conversation tonight, I don't even remember who it was who said it. The Ray Higdon thing, Annette said it. I'm asking more and more people, I'm talking to more and more people, I'm listening better, getting more no's, which is very strange. But because in the beginning I was getting a lot of yeses, but it's okay. I'm doing like what Marie said too. I'm not kind of focused on just the regular way I was doing it. I'm trying different things. Reaching out to my nurse practitioner friend, who's one of my best friends, lives out in the Hamptons in Long Island, and I was just there this weekend. Still surprised that, she tried it at one point, but she was having quite a bit of like side effects. It was like detox kind of side effects, and which I was pointing out to her at the time. She ended up just stopping it and saying, no, I can't do this. Long story short, I talked to her about it again this weekend and said, look, I know it's not for you. I know you had these issues. I really wish you would give it another try. Just did a great IBS and IBD interview a couple weeks ago with a nurse practitioner who went through the same thing, thought she knew, had all the answers. Everything is treated with medications until, that persistent friend that she met at the amusement park in line for a roller coaster ride or something, called her for the, whatever it was, 12th month in a row and said, I really wish you would just give this a shot. So I mentioned that to Karen again this weekend. She said, I am thinking about trying it again. I might need to do that, try a smaller dose. And I said, well, look, I know it's not a business for you. I'm doing really well. I'm in a growth period and I'm trying to build really good, committed, loyal, fun, close group of team. And I said, I'm looking for more. I used your line, looking for 5 partners in the next 2 months that are going to really lock arms with me, and we can just have a blast doing it and sharing and making a difference in people's lives. Do you know anybody? So when I kind of took it away from her and expanded it into, who do you know, given that you're a nurse practitioner? She mentioned her nutritionist that she's been working with, and she said, you two would really hit it off. You would do really well. And I said, can you get me an introduction? Can you put me in front of her? And she said, I'd be happy to. You two would love each other. Anyway, the conversation went that way. And guys, I guess my point is just don't take no for an answer. This has been another one of my long-term friendships and trying to get her interested in Juice Plus for about 2 years. It may not go anywhere with her, but now I'm really starting to ask her for recommendations and it's working.
And there you go. That's brilliant, Ham. And I thank you. That was what I was going to say before I lost my train of thought. Having that, having a fear of loss, a little bit of a fear of loss, like I'm like the line that Ham said that I use, I'm in a growth period in my business. I'm really focusing on growing, and I'm looking to work with 5 people, and I love and admire you so much. I would love you to be number 1. Are you open to hearing about how you can create some income and change some lives? The key is you have to be willing to close it. Talking to a million people and not having a frenzied follow-up is everybody says the fortune's in the follow-up, and it is in the follow-up, but the fortune's in the duplication. So you've got to be aware of who you spoke to and how you left it with them, and then follow up and ask them for a strong yes or a strong no. But before we close, I just want Marie Mozai has an amazing way of, look at what Sue Lambiers wrote. She said, a great question I learned from Mary Kay is, can you think of any reason why you won't give this a try? That's a great line, Sue. Thank you so much. Marie Mozai, Jeff Roberti always says, look at their feet when they're talking to you, because if their feet are facing away from you and they're turning around, they may not stay very long. But Marie Mozai uses that to her advantage. And I don't expect you to read my mind, Marie, unless you know what I'm going to. Do you know what I'm going to?
No.
Okay. When Marie talks to people, she says, I only have I'm on my way out. I'd love to share. I know that you keep your income options open. I don't have time right now, but I'd love to follow up with you. Are you open to hearing about our opportunity? And her feet are facing the door, and she's turning her neck around, like she's not verbally vomiting all over them. She's like, bye, see you. If you come, great. If you don't, great. I don't really care. Could work if you wanted to. I mean, that's what comes off of her. Flows off of her. Like, I'd love you to do this, but if you don't, that's really cool because I'll find somebody else. If we could, right, Marie? Am I?
No, I mean, part of it's kind of funny. I'm sure part of it is because I'm flying, running out to go somewhere else. But I get the sense that there's no pressure to when I do that. I swear to God, every single time my sister's going to hit me because I say this to her all the time. All I say is, have you ever heard of Juice Plus? And they say, no. And that's exactly what happened this afternoon. And the woman next door said, wait, what is it? And I said, micronized fruits and vegetables in a capsules, fruit, berries, vegetables. I said, when you have some time, I'll just drop some stuff off and I would love to chat with you about it. She goes, no, I'm really interested. And that's really the end of the conversation. And then I feel better. I just feel better following up. And I swear I listened for holes. I was at a picnic on Saturday. I knew nobody. And I spent 25 minutes on a prospective team member this morning just because her husband flat out said a joke about eating dessert and saying I'm diabetic and I don't want to take stupid medication anymore for this and cholesterol. And I said, what? Have you ever heard Juice Plus? And he's like, no. And I said, I will talk to you about it later. That's all he said. So, and then we talked about it like 20 minutes later, but his wife couldn't stop. So yeah, I sometimes selfishly, I don't have time. And I literally say, here's my card. Can I have your phone number? I'll call you. And that's because I got to go, or I just will have to do it later.
And that is one of the first things that that Cheryl Cortese taught me when I first joined the business. It'll be 15 years in September, the beginning of September, was that you create a fear of loss. And that's exactly what Marie's creating by having her feet pointing literally, I mean, not figuratively, pointing away from them and saying, gee, I got to go. I really think that's an important thing. And then have the courage and the bravery. We all, a bunch of us are taking the Brave Leadership course, Sue, and I hope Ham and maybe a few others of you will take it, Annette, take it in January. They talk about having 8 minutes, 8 seconds of feeling uncomfortable, but being true to who you are. So ask for a strong yes or a strong no. I so appreciate it when they give that to me because I can move on. I'm not, I
You know,
can.
Maura, the other thing I just want to say is that there's been a couple people have been really adamant about no, or like say, whoever was just saying, they know it all. But I have people I really, really care about. I have literally said to them, you know what? I don't need your sale. I don't need one more sale. I'm trying to build my business and trying to get team who will spread this word with me. But this is not about me getting another sale. I really don't need it. I need you to be healthy. And that's why I'm not letting up or whatever, but I'm not desperate to get, I don't think we all are. We want team. And I just said, I don't need your sale. I really don't. Honest to God, you're not going to make or break my life if I don't sell this, but I know you need it. So.
And that's another thing. That's a brilliant thing to say. If you take the pressure off of them buying, they're going to want it more. I mean, it's human nature. It's like I told you last week or the week before, I said, thank you. I really appreciate a strong no. From this person that finally said, no, I really don't want your product. I said, thank you so much. I'm so grateful that you gave me a strong no. I won't be bothering you anymore with events or, sending you videos or anything. I appreciate it. You're helping me be very effective with my time. And all of a sudden, she turned around and said, well, wait a minute. I didn't say that you shouldn't send me events or that you shouldn't send me videos. I just said I'm not ready to order the product right now. And so I sent her a new video and I plan on following up with her tomorrow and saying, what else do you need that'll help you make a decision? But I'm tired of this woman. I'm like, Marie, okay, I don't need this order that much. I really don't. But I think there's a lot of valuable information in this call tonight. I hope you felt it was. And I recorded it. I'm going to stop the recording right now. But I really think it's important that we, you